since 25 years now, really since 25 years, since a trip, a journey I did in the center of Africa, in the forest of Republic Central Africa. I lived for a while with the Pygmies. I don't know if you know what Pygmies is. It's a special people in Africa and in the world, because they have amazing, beautiful music, then different way of life. And when I came back from the forest, I realized I had to change completely everything, my work, the music, and many reasons for that. First of all, the way of life is of course different of not only our way of life, but also the way of life of African people. Usually there is really a life in the forest. They don't have a word to say music. The music is not something which is separate from the life. They go hunting, they sing. They're doing some parties, they sing. They do some ceremonies, they sing. The music, or they play. The music is completely always connected with the reality of life. This is for me something very big, because before I was doing a lot of different kind of music, also contemporary music, jazz, and all these things. And more and more I felt everything was separate. And sometimes the music was just there just to do music, and sometimes people, they didn't really know why they were doing music. It was just like, suddenly this changed completely my life. And since that moment, also 25 years ago, the world was different. And also the knowledge and the access of culture, the access of the music coming from all over the world were very limited. When you were listening radio, today you have the music of all over the world was not the same thing. To have vinyls, we could have only some tracks recorded by ethnomusicologue, and sometimes the text to explain what the music was much bigger, the long text, and after you have 2 minutes of music to understand. Then I realized it was time for me to jump into this huge book of orality, to close a lot of other books, theoretical books, I don't know what, to open this huge book of orality, books which doesn't exist, but a lot of music is there, and to go and to travel and to go in everywhere, to meet the musicians, to understand how they do music, to live with them, and to learn this music and all these different culture. This is all my each day life, nights. It's full. I do only this in 25 years. One of the starting points, let's say like this, I thought if this Mozart Requiem, which was not finished by Mozart, the accomplishment was done, Schuschmeier was one of the composers, but it's possible there are other composers, whatever. If this Requiem is probably the biggest symbol we have in Western music, why not use mainly what Mozart did and make the complement with other visions of what the morning is, what is the different ceremonies to open. The first thing I would like to say, it's probably I think we propose a ritual, a ceremony, which could be a very beautiful and wonderful way to celebrate this moment with joy, with a lot of also sadness, but just to use this term it's reducing so much to let space to express different aspects. It's especially here for example we have the musicians from Congo, the musician from Cape Town, the musician from Portugal, from Belgium, Tunisia, and from Belgium, and it's South African or Congolese is not the same. Even in each musicians come from another from another ethnic. It's another way to do. But in Africa, yeah, in Africa, you know, it's Africa from the north to the south, east, west. It's like the Western world, you know. If Italy and Sweden, you know how you German, you know, there are so many ways to express it. But for us, it's probably a proposition. How to celebrate that moment? Do we have to celebrate? There are people, they say, in the Western world, the moment the people, they will be able to celebrate it in another way, not only in the sad way. They will change the conception of life. Our ceremonies start when someone is still alive. Most of the ceremonies start when the person is already dead. And I said, yes, in fact, probably in our proposition, it would be wonderful if when someone is going to die, going to live, we start the ceremony before. And we go with this person until the moment she passed away, and we continue. Why not in this proposition? But I think I cannot answer, but I can say really, this is a proposition. This is a proposition. And to help the people to feel much better. I saw Lucie, she passed away slowly during the performance, and we saw her doing, and it's very something extremely special to add this experience. But the family followed the process. The daughters were there with us. The daughters, we see a little bit on the images. They came very often. They will be here in Berlin for the premiere. The family will be there. It's really, we built all together. There's anything, everything, the family, person of, they're not professional into art or whatever. Everything they propose, Allah include into the piece. They were part of it. This Mozart Requiem is a mystery, and in this mystery, of course, it was very interesting for a musicologue. It's a piece for musicologue. You know what happened, who did it, how they did it, what Mozart, and we have like a mythology around, like and plus sometimes you have an Amadeus movie, and where you have a fiction going to that. The people, they don't know if it's a fiction, if it's a reality, and it's a myth. It's a myth. And then this myth continues, you know, it's just a process. But since this 25 years of working with artists from all over the world, whatever if they come from Arabic countries, whatever it comes from different part of Africa, from India, whatever, from states, that the other side, this, all the continents, whatever. There's something I always try to do, is never to do addition in art. It's to look for the multiplication. What is the seed? And from the seed, how we can rebuild trees. You know, and this is I never lost this kind of things. Then I know today, especially in the interactions of culture, the process of addition is used a lot. You put this with this, you put this with this, and it's fine. It started with the sound. Let's use the sound of the tabla. Yeah, let's use the sound of this drum, African drums. Let's use and we put it this and this and this and this, which is very nice too. There are a lot of wonderful things coming from that. But I always look for the seed to have the multiplication. The Kyrie, this Kyrie, we work very hard on this Kyrie. Why? Because the African musicians are mainly, whatever in fact in Africa, wherever you are, they are not used with this kind of harmonies. They are not used with this kind of the form which is connected with the fuga. You have one line, second line, which is nearly with the same, but it's in another tonality, going to another one, and after it goes to polyphonies, and after the Mozart Requiem is built like that in many aspects, and this for them it was really something complex. But in the African music they have it, but they just don't use in that way. Then we try to build little by little something which goes to this Mozart Requiem, but starting like the origin of time. One African singer sings something, not the lyrical. The lyrical are South African, the non-lyrical are Congolese. One sound, another sing, another sing. The voicing of one goes to more complex, going to more complex, going to more complex. In this complexity, it includes the pygmy singing, it includes the forest music. And more at the moment we reach the maximum of complexity, then it embraces a lot of African culture. It's not specific from one another, it's connected. When each voicing starts to have this complexity coming from another root, the Mozart Requiem arrive. It goes. And it's like, we don't know anymore if Mozart comes from Africa or Africa comes from Mozart. We don't care. Then this process of this construction, it's a very, very special trip. We were in this trip and it was really crazy. I said the moment you arrive to the maximum of complexity, Mozart has to start, and in fact it goes just there and there. And most of these musicians, they don't read music. Mm-hmm. They don't know what to say. The lyrical singer is a little bit different, but it's not like, sometimes the people, they don't realize that reading music here is just to give a score, and the people, they read the music. It's like you read a letter, that you have to go slowly, one note by note. But most of the musicians, you say do, re, mi, fa, it doesn't have so much sense. It's like then it's a huge work of memory. And this, me, I'm saxophone player, I'm jazz musician too. Then I use my saxophone, as I always do when I work with people from all over the world. I just play. I play the bass, I play the one voicing, I play the other voicing. And for them, the saxophone is like a voice. And it's precise about each note, even more precise than a voice. I can do any intervals, and it's the transmission worked first like this. I play the lines, I play the thing. As soon as they know enough, and they understand enough, because, when you start to explain the Kyrie, they don't know about it. Then I say, okay, the bass line goes like that. I play the bass line. Okay, they have to learn. You have one voicing goes like that, but they know only the bass line. Then they learn one voice. And I said, now the second voice goes like, and after the modulation goes there. So you have to memorize. You have to. At the moment they start to understand in the details and in the globality, the sound, they can start to propose. They can start, oh, my feeling is this. Okay, your feeling is this. We need this. We need a moment like that. Mm. Can you create a moment like that? Oh, I can create this. I can propose you this. And we always re-put any details, any proposition in this piece, which should be as the Mozart Requiem. It means when you see a leaf of a tree in the streets, when you see the leaf, most of the time you know what the tree is. You hear a part of the Mozart Requiem, you have an idea of the whole Requiem. And here, that's what we are trying to do. Any element you take, in fact, you could understand in which piece we are. And everything is connected. Everything is connected. There is nothing which is disconnected, which is just come from an addition. Sometimes the space is a little bit more open to... there's a moment where Freddy Massamba is singing something very important at the beginning. He's doing something. We start to work on that, and we had this mood because we need this griot, the storyteller. A moment, Africa storytellers are important. Then someone who has to tell a story and to understand is telling a story. Less than 1 month ago, during the work, her mother passed away, and he had to go back in in Congo Brazzaville, because he is from Congo Brazzaville and the others from Kinshasa. When he came back, he injected something. We were like, wow, what is this? And yeah, of course, even this, it's completely in connections, completely in connections.